one? Yep, that's okay. Welcome. This information's really good. We've always done it for the Year 12s, but last year we had a couple of Year 12 parents said, I wish I had have known this information back when my child was in Year 11. So we now invite our Year 11s to attend, just so you get a little bit of heads-up information. We've got some brochures out the front, so please feel free, if you haven't already got one, to get one on the way out. And firstly, a big pat on the back to all of our Year 12s in the room. We only saw you for 19 hours, and it was in this room, do you remember, everybody? You're all sitting here, and I was here, sort of a deja vu. And then I had to break the news and we all started crying, and so it was very emotional. Well, I started crying and I think all of our mentors did as well. So a big thank you to the parents for your understanding and to come and collect your child at that 11th hour. It really meant a lot to us, and it shows that your guys are just as passionate about the program as we are. So, and I get that working. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Cindy. I'm the student coordinator for the program. So I look after you guys through Year 11 and 12. And then when you come to uni, I'll pass you on to my colleagues Christy and Eileen, who then look after your well-being and your grades and everything thereafter. You don't get rid of me that easily though. You're part of the Yap family for life, so I'm always around as well. And Kay, you would have seen and know her from our camp. I'd like to introduce my helpers for the evening. So we have Mentor Matt, or just Matt, I'm just going to call him Matt. He's not named, his last name's not Matt and his first name's not Mentor. If you'd like to say hello.
Hey everyone, I'm Matt, or Mentor Matt, or something of that variable. I study a Bachelor of Journalism and Art. So journalism is pretty self-explanatory for my art side of my degree. Who knows? In the past 3 semesters I've changed my art major 3 times. Currently enrolled in sports studies. Ask me by the end of tonight, I might be something different though. So, if you want to speak to me about any of that sort of stuff, I'm your guy.
I might get you guys to take the mask off when you're talking.
Oh yeah, true.
Yep. And I quote Matt when everybody left camp, and I've used his quote quite a few times. It's not the camp we wanted, it was the camp that we got. So that's going gold straight up into the pool room. We have Jade and Tegan. So Jade, I'll ask you up first.
Hello, I'm Jade. I study pharmacy at university, which is where I get medicines and how they work in the body and how they work together. And with that, I'm going to be able to go further on to medical school afterwards, so that's basically going to be doing my whole study. So, any science nerds out there?
Lovely. Tegan?
Hi everyone, I'm Tegan and I'm studying secondary education and art. The unique but at UQ if you have to do double degrees or studying secondary education. My 2 special areas are psychology and Japanese. So if you're interested in education or that field, please feel free to chat to me.
And Hannah, and then Alex.
Hi everyone, I'm Hannah. I all the way from Calgary. I've actually got back this afternoon. Sorry. I am studying a Bachelor of Speech Pathology. I love it, and I found out this morning that I can actually do my placement back at home in this coming semester, and I'm really looking forward to that.
And Alex.
Hey guys, I'm Alex. I study a Bachelor of History and Arts as well, but I major in English and TV, which is really awesome. Feel free to get to let you be able to explore so many cultures which I love. And I'm a little bit.
Lovely. Thanks, Alex. Alex, yeah. Cooper. The fun one, obviously.
Hey guys, so yeah, I'm Cooper. I study science and economics. I'm a bit of a maths, stats and science nerd, so if you love any of that stuff, come chat to me. And yeah, there's nothing else really small school, so I don't know.
And we have Bart.
Good morning, parents and students. My name is Bart. Evening. So yeah, I study engineering and business management in my 3rd year. Not from Brisbane, not from Tassie, but I'm from Chile, which is where I work in Woomba.
Lovely. Thanks, Bart. And senior mentor Sonia is out in our foyer looking after what's going on out there. So the session outline, but before we get on to that, something that was omitted at camp, we had a few extra people at camp that I didn't acknowledge, and I'd like to recognise them tonight with their certificate, which they didn't get in Year 10. So Amelia, you're here. Amelia, do you want to come down and get your certificate? Thank you. And Bailey, I didn't get a chance to meet Bailey. There we go. I'm not allowed to shake your hand, so thank you. Thank you, Bailey. And then Georgie Daly. I know you're here. So these students were fortunate enough to enter the program at a later date. Thank you, Georgie. So we welcome you, and the camp was a great opportunity for them to get really into the program. So if our Year 12s in the room haven't met these guys, please go up and introduce yourselves to them. So thank you very much for coming. So the session outline tonight, we're going to touch on some study options, how to apply to uni, cost and financial accommodation, which might not be relevant because you guys all live very, very close proximity, but if anyone's thinking about moving away from home, or parents in the room, if you want to kick your kids out of home, that could be something that you might be interested in. How do we support your students once they actually get to UQ, and the next steps moving forward? We'll have supper at the end of the session, so please join us for that afterwards. So applying to university and pathways. So I call this little bloke George. I think he looks like a George. Or for those old enough in the room to know Superman's alias of Clark Kent, he sort of looks like the old-fashioned Clark Kent. So a few of you in the room scratching your head thinking, is university really for me? Is it something that I want to do to go to university? What do I want to study? Can I have a show of hands on who is really, they know exactly what course they want to do and what they want to get into? There's a few. And then on the other hand, who has no idea what you want to do? Lovely. I know our mentors in the room. We've got a couple who, I'm going to call on them and I'll just do it randomly and embarrass them. So out of the mentors, who didn't know in this spot, in Year 12, didn't know what they wanted to do? Matt put his hand up first, so it's like a game.
Well, in high school, I studied physics, chemistry, philosophy, geography, English, and mathematics. So I had quite a big range and variety of stuff that I wanted to look at. In the beginning of Year 12, I dead set genuinely was set on becoming like astrophysicist or some kind. I thought that would be sick to start. Midway through Year 12, I was like, all right, I want to go into politics. Then I went and got midway through like chemistry, I was like, oh, actually maybe astrophysics is looking cool again. And then I ended up studying journalism at uni. So you don't have to have any of that stuff sorted straight away. It's a big lesson, and there's always time, once you're at uni to, I guess, figure out what your pathway is.
That's right. There's always time to change. So we're going to talk about Plan A, Plan B, and even go a little bit further. So we want you to come to university. We hope that you come to UQ. That's our goal. But if you do choose to go to another university, that's totally fine as well. So we're here to help you either way. So we are investing in you. Our mentors are in the room. For those parents in the room, our mentors are 2-year, as you know, commitment, and it's about 200 hours of volunteering, and they're so passionate about the program, it really pays off when your students actually talk to them over the phone. So our UQ campuses, you're all here now at St Lucia. St Lucia is the biggest of our 3 campuses and studies most of the programs here. Hurston is predominantly medicine and pharmacy based, and Gatton is our agricultural area. Is anybody thinking about studying in the agricultural field, veterinary science at Gatton? Yep, so the few in the room, lovely. It's a lot smaller campus. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to go to Gatton while we're at camp. The Gatton Open Day is in a couple of weeks' time, so if you're able to go there, it's a really very close-knit community campus. None of our mentors study at Gatton, but it's great out there. So these are the different areas of study that you can hear at UQ. There's a course guide that we had out the front, so if you didn't get a chance to get one of those, please yell out and we can run out and get some and bring them directly to you. That's pretty good service, I think. So I won't read them all out one by one, but these are the different areas that you can study here at UQ. There's two basic entry requirements that you need to actually gain entry to a university, not just UQ, but any university. It's the eligibility, and that is subject prerequisites. So I know if some of the students in the room haven't done general maths or maths methods or physics, biology or chemistry or something, that's a prerequisite that you might need to get into something. If anyone's interested in doing medicine, you would have already done the UCAT, the admissions test for medicine, and some courses you might need to do an audition, like music, for example. And then the merit base, which is your ATAR. So you're all working very hard. Most of your report cards are in. Thank you for sending them in. You're all doing an amazing job, given the last year that we've had and so far this year. So, yeah, congrats to all of you for a really good effort. The UQ guide, in which that you will all receive tonight, will have the UQ, the adjustment factors, and I'm just going to try and find out which pointer this is. That's it. There we go. So this particular course, the Bachelor of Laws, the ATAR that you need to get into this course is a 97, all right? So the adjusted and the unadjusted, the highest person in this course got a 97 and the lowest got a 94. So this would be you guys as yappers because you get your 5 bonus ranks on top of your ATAR, okay? So that's what it is that you need to look at when you're searching for your particular program and what the Year 12s last year got. So the Bachelor of Laws, this was the last year's Year 12 cohort. So there is admissions pathways. This is Plan B if you don't get your desired ATAR to get in Plan A. So we can help you with these over the next couple of months through phone calls and also through the office. But they're in the course guide that you can have a look at up yourself. So basically there's 3 simple steps that you need to do to apply to uni. So step 1 is obviously choose your program that you want to do. And that's easy for some of you in the room that know exactly what they're thinking about doing. Number 2 is to apply through QTAC, and we'll touch on QTAC in just a moment. And number 3 is accept your offer. So it sounds pretty simple, I guess, in a way, and it is very simple with our help. So the QTAC guide, this is it here. This is last year's copy. It is a QTAC, Queensland Tertiary Admissions Centre, and QTAC is the acronym, and they're the middleman to apply to university. So Victoria has their own system, New South Wales does, etc. There's an online applications which opens the first week of August, and a $45 application fee for those parents in the room. We will pay for that for you, for your student. So I've already sent out an email. Some students have already gotten back to me to say yes, they will want to take that up. If you do want that QTAC offer, please email the office with your school and your name, and we will get a voucher sent to you so you can apply to QTAC. Now, preferencing. You have 6 preferences for QTAC, and I'm going to call on the mentors in a moment about how they chose their preferences and what sort of order they put them in. So number 1 and 2 is your desired course that you want to study the most. So I've got an example in a moment. So it's 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4 are the backup courses. So courses that you'd be happy to study. And then number 5 and 6 are your admissions pathway courses. So was Alex got... I'll let you come up and explain. message to you guys, and your guidance officers when you're at school will explain this as well to you, to do the courses that you want to do. So you need to picture yourself in a room like this for the next 3 years or maybe 4 years. You won't be listening to me, which is good for you. You'll be listening to a lecturer, and then you'll break off into similar, smaller groups called tutorials, where you'll study in a little bit more what you're familiar with at high school. So you do need to do something that you enjoy, something that you're good at, not what your ATAR is going to be reflective of. So I've got an example here. This is probably could be Alex, because she got into laws. So well done for getting that ATAR. Congratulations. So I really want to do laws. I don't really, but this is my example. And you don't want to do laws if you watch Suits, all right? Because it's nothing like Suits. You don't walk around in $5,000 suits or something like that. I'm talking about the television show, if everyone knows. So I really want to do a Bachelor of Laws because I'm passionate about it. If I don't get, because at this point you don't know what your ATAR is, right? So I'd then be happy to do a Bachelor of Commerce, which is kind of like money and finance and things like that. If I don't get that, I'd be then happy to do economics, and you can read, you can see as the list goes on. So how it works is that when you do your preferences, you're doing this in the first week of August, and you don't get your ATAR until December, which is a long, long way away. Schools don't predict ATARs anymore, or they used to predict OPs, but they might predict somebody to get an ATAR of 95, and you're thinking, well, this is great, I'm not going to bother doing any more work, I'm just going to chill for the rest of the year. And you don't get your ATAR of 95, and you're just devastated. So you can't rely on what the teachers say. You know yourself on how much hard work you've done. Now, your 5 adjustment factors that you're going to get as a yapper, this is not included in this. So when you get your ATAR, let's just say I got my ATAR of 80. My ATAR now becomes 85 because you get 5 adjustment factors added onto your score. So you guys could get into economics or commerce, all right? Now, I'd be happy to do that course for a year, and then once you're in the system, once you're at UQ, you can change within the ranks. So any of our mentors actually changed? Hannah? Changed?
I did. Okay, so you'll hear about this in a minute as well. So preference one is what I really want at the top, which is Bachelor of Psychology, what I'm doing now. I then wrote it off a lower down, and we'll hear about it in a minute, so but I still, after that time, I never wrote an offer for speech psychology. I kind of knew that I didn't get the APARP, and so I did a year of something else first, and then I got my rotor at uni, and then I changed the course into a Bachelor of Speech Psychology after my first year. And it's really easy to do that because the grade is way higher than the grade you get at school.
Great, thank you. Now we're on. So when you get your ATAR, and I'll give you the dates in a moment, but it's in December, there's 3 things that you need to think of. So you either accept your offer, so I'll call on our mentors in a moment. You either accept your offer, you reject your offer, or you defer your offer. So I might call on Tegan and let us know what you did with your offer. Where in your preferences did you get your offer, and what did you do?
So similar to Alex, my first preference was a Bachelor of Law, and it was my first preference. So I actually got the first offer, the first preference that I wanted, but all I did was accept my offer.
So we had somebody in our that we didn't get the first number 1, but you got a lower number down. So how's that work?
Yeah, so my first preference was after flipping and flopping on 3D decided that my first preference is to tackle a degree called CPE,
Lovely. So we might just listen to QTAC on responding to an offer.
Hi, I'm Katrina. Congratulations on receiving your offer. So what's next? Well, you have 4 days to respond to your offer. So the next step is to log into your QTAC account. Under My Application, select View or Edit. Then under Offers, choose Respond to Offer. Here you'll find up to 6 response options: acceptance, rejection and deferment if your course allows deferment, and if you have higher preferences, conditional acceptance, conditional rejection and conditional deferment. If you want to respond to your offer and don't want to be considered for other courses, choose an outright response. If you accept or defer your offer, you'll soon hear from your institution on what to do next. If you reject your offer, you don't need to do anything else. If you do want to be considered for other courses, choose a conditional response option and you'll be considered for your higher preferences in the next offer round. You can also reorder your current preferences or add new ones. Make sure any courses you want are listed above the preference you've just been offered. Visit our website for more information on responding to offers, and remember to follow us on social media for the latest news. Best of luck with your studies.
Couldn't have said it better. So, obviously I'm such techno. I just want to go to the next slide. There we go. See, I got all these people in the front, no one bothered to get up and help me and assist me. This make me look like a fool. But that's okay. I did it. So we've done our QTAC. Everybody, for the parents in the room, the guidance officer at the school will actually have a class session. Has anybody in Year 12 done the QTAC session yet at school? No? So it will be coming up. So it's really good for you guys to have a start thinking about it. But just know that with your preferences, that if you don't get your first preference in the December round, I've got the dates, you can be considered for another round in January. Okay, so there's multiple rounds. So under the QTAC system as well, when you do apply, I want to point out the Educational Access Scheme to you. There's 5 categories of this scheme, and I want to introduce or point you out to the Financial Hardship Scholarship section. So the Financial Hardship section, it's, as the name suggests, it will be based on your mum and dad's or parents in the room and your financial situation. When you applied to the Young Achievers program, you had to give all of your financial data to us. That doesn't happen anymore. This will be linked to your customer reference number if you're on Centrelink. Any Centrelink benefits, whether you're on Family Tax A or B or any rent assistance, you will more than likely be eligible under this scheme for this. The reason I'm telling you this is there's a scholarship additional to your YAP behind this. Just to explain the other sections, the home environment responsibilities are if you are caring for a sibling or a grandparent or something like that that's disrupting your schooling, English language difficulty, personal illness and disability, that could be if you are sick or anything like that, and your school environment. So that's maybe if the school burns down or I shouldn't touch wood. There is also if you've had a steady teacher and all of a sudden they've left and you get substitute teachers and they're not doing a good job and you're failing because of that reason. So if you can show cause as to why you could be additional for this. The number one is that is the financial hardship, and I'm going to show you another. Let's see if this one works. Yep.
Hi, I'm Katrina. If you've experienced circumstances that have impacted your most recent studies, the Educational Access Scheme, EAS, may assist your application. Because the EAS is an evidence-based scheme, you may need to provide supporting documentation if you decide to apply. We'll let you know by email after you apply if you need to provide documentation. There are 5 EAS categories, and you can apply for as many as you like. The categories are financial hardship, home environment and responsibilities, English language difficulty, personal illness or disability, and educational disruption. You can apply for EAS when you fill out your QTAC application online. If you want to apply for EAS after you've lodged your application, you can find the cover sheets on our website. Just print out the ones you want, fill them out and send them to us. For more information, visit our website. And don't forget to follow us on social media for the latest news and updates. Good luck with your application.
It started again. I did it quickly. Oh. We don't need to listen to Katrina anymore. But this is I think that was her name, 5 yes, we've heard it twice. So, did any of our mentors in the room apply through Educational Access Scheme when they did their QTAC application? Hannah's nodding her head.
Yeah, so I found it really easy. I was through 6 graph, the 11 and 12, which was things where I from that sort of count towards your answer. I just had to say like, hey, I was through 6, and then put in a doctor who could get to say that I was through 6 and use the professional to prove that I was, and it got through. So as long as you have the right evidence that they want, it was really easy.
Lovely. I just want to point out too that there are adjustment factor bonus points that are attached to these schemes. You as yappers automatically get 5 adjustment factors, and UQ will only take 5 adjustment factors to your score. So it's the financial hardship that I want to get that message across. And if you tick that category and you're eligible, you will automatically receive the UQ Link Scholarship, which is valued at $3,000 a year for up to 3 years. So that's something that is really worth thinking about. Take that home tonight and have a think about it and read up on it, because you just put in your customer reference number of mum and dad, and it links up to Centrelink. So please apply for that. As I said, your adjustment factors will be done behind the scenes. Eileen adds them to everybody's application, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. And we don't want you to rely on those to get to the study. Again, do the desired courses for number 1s and 2s. So these are the dates that you need to be aware of. So 3rd of August, applications open for QTAC and any documentation. So last day of Year 12, that hasn't got a date on it, but I'm sure you're all counting down the days of when that is. And so December the 17th, your ATAR is released, which is a Friday. And as Katrina says, you've only got 4 days to respond to that offer. So the Friday, we have our calling centre open. We'll touch base before then, obviously, but you'll be able to call us and to say, this is the ATAR I've got, this is what I want to study, and we can help you reorder your preferences, because you've got till like the noon on the Monday. So the first round is on the 23rd of December. Then, so if you've conditionally accepted and you want to be considered for the next round, that is on the 13th of January. And then February, there's another round, and I think there's a 4th round as well. Okay, does anyone have any questions about QTAC? That was a long way around it. So, yes?
So you've got 4 days. 4 days to reply.
4 days, yes.
Oh, Christmas.
Yes, it's the week before Christmas. Yeah. So Friday it comes due, it's due, you've got to do it by the 20th. So if you're going to go away, you're going to do anything, need to let somebody else know if you haven't got internet connection anywhere. So you'll need to either let a friend or a proxy or somebody else to act on your behalf. So it's very, very short turnaround. So that's the Monday. We get the information on the Tuesday and the offers go out on the Thursday. I just go up the back. Yep. The RIT 1999? Yeah. So the question was, there's a university course called RIT 1999, which we offer you guys to do, and you would have done it in year 11 last year, if you did. That doesn't add on to a factor for UQ, but it adds on to 1 point for your QCE, which is behind the scenes. So, and it'll be beneficial when you come to university and you get credit points for it. So for the purpose of ATAR, it's not really nothing, but later down the track it will. So Cooper, did you? Oh, the offer date. Yeah, sorry, I missed. Yeah, so the offer round is the 23rd of December, 2 days before Christmas. Yeah. No, we work. Not Christmas Day, but it's counted as a business day. No, I think we're confused with the QTAC offer and a UQ offer. So the QTAC offer, you've got 4 days to respond, so that you get that on the Friday, and you've got to respond by the Monday. On the 23rd of December, UQ give you your offer. I think you've got till about the 6th of January to do that. Yep, so there's 2 different offers. Yep. So QTAC act on our behalf to give you an offer. Is that all the questions for that section? Friska? Yell out, Friska. We might leave that microphone with them because I've got another one here.
Yes, okay. So there was a link on one of the slides and it says the financial hardship. Was that for the QTAC, which will be plus the one we will have when we come here?
So the UQ Link scholarship is attached to the educational access scheme through QTAC under financial hardship. So you need to tick that box, send in the documentation, and QTAC will assess it, and hopefully you get that scholarship.
Wait, so they're two different ones, or are they the same? I don't get that part. Are they both the same or just different?
One and the same, yes.
Okay.
So financial hardship is the QTAC. Oh, yes, it's on top of, sorry. So you've got your $7,000 Young Achiever Scholarship plus your $3,000 for UQ Link. So $10,000 so far in the bank. Thank you for clarifying that. Speaking of money, let's talk about money. Let's give you guys some more money. Oh, I've got another question, sorry. So the question is, if you're going to go to another university under those 6 preferences, of course my example was just for QTAC, but you can have anywhere in those preferences at any university. So you could have UQ as number 1, you could have QUT as number 2, and Griffith as number 3. So let's just say the Griffith preference is arts, and you got that, so you can accept that Griffith offer. And you can conditionally accept it for a higher round, either at QUT or at UQ.
So if your number 1 preference is QUT, you obviously have that background there and another university doesn't pay.
Yep.
If you get a conditional offer at QUT,
No. If you get just say you get your number one preference, which I know all of our mentors did, you will not get another offer because that's your number one. After that preference, if you say, I don't really want that, you can rearrange your preferences in order for the second round. Yep. But yeah, if you get your highest one at number one, that's the one that you're going to get. You're not going to get any more because that's your desired course. That's what you really want to do. Thank you. That was a really good question. Yes, Amelia. So the EAS is just so the question was you get your YAP scholarship and you get your Link scholarship for 10,000. That's what the EAS financial hardship will give you, is that scholarship. Yes, you have to apply through EAS in order to get the Link scholarship. So continue. We've got another question over here. That's right. So the ATAR you receive on that Friday morning is your raw ATAR. So we will add 5 in the back end. So if you get an 80, you're really going to get an 85. Thanks. So, but coming to uni, okay, we've already got $10,000 in our kitty. So good thing is to actually come to university, you don't actually have to pay anything up front. You'll get a HEX loan. I'm sure everyone's heard people say, I've got a HEX debt, I'm still paying off my HEX debt, I'll be paying it off for ages. You don't actually have to pay off your HEX debt until you start earning money, and it's about $46,000 a year, and then you'll pay through your tax like 3%, and you'll continue on paying that. You do need a tax file number, which I'm sure everyone has a part-time job, so that's something that if you don't have a tax file number, please get onto that. So how much a university fees will actually cost depends on what you're going to study. So this is just a snippet out of the course guide of what it is. So because I want to do law, my annual contribution, or what I'm going to pay every year, is about $14,500. So to do law is a 5-year course, I think, or a 4-year course. So you times that by 4, and that's what it's going to cost you. So that gives you an indication of what uni is going to cost. So we've already mentioned your scholarship. It's paid in 2 instalments of $3,500 each as cash to you. So can I ask our Young Achiever mentors in the room on what they spend their money on? Maybe Bart, you can let us know. So your money that you get for your Young Achiever scholarship, what do you spend it on?
Alright, so I was fortunate to get a few scholarships coming into the uni. My money was saved up at 12, and I could put a new laptop for uni, also for rent. So rent is quite expensive. Also college. So my first year of college, and I had a lot of money to pay for that. And also second year moved out, so money going towards the scholarship. That's me, just mainly study stuff and
Lovely, thank you. Now, with your scholarship, you can defer up to 2 years. So I know a couple of students in the room are thinking about having a gap year, and that's fine to do that. You need to apply through QTAC, accept your offer, and then you can accept your offer to defer, okay? That's a little bit tongue-twisted there. But so you can defer it for up to 2 years. And is anyone else having a gap year? I know I've spoken to Cobra and Priska. Anyone else having a gap year? No? We can't travel anywhere overseas anymore, so gap years are a little bit different these days. But yes, you need to be enrolled at uni, and you need to be studying full-time in order to get your monies. This is just another snapshot of the UQ Link scholarship. It's $3,000 a year for up to 3 years. There's lots of other scholarships. Bart just mentioned that there's scholarships. We'll talk about accommodation scholarships in a moment. Who's thinking about moving out of home and coming to live, maybe on campus somewhere? A couple of people. What parents in the room want their child to move out of home? Oh, you all get large. You've got 2 hands up there. So there's lots of other scholarships. My question, well, not my question, my suggestion is that you do a little bit of research. We've now started Scholarship Saturdays on our Facebook page. So every week I'm popping a scholarship in there to let you know of things that are coming up, just to think outside the box. So there's academic scholarships, equity scholarships, which is what this hardship scholarship that you're on is under equity. Sporting scholarships, there's government industry scholarships, there is a asthma foundation scholarship if you have asthma. So you need to prove that you have asthma. So there's lots of scholarships out there, and as I said, just have a little bit of research. The scholarships website is a wealth of knowledge, and it's like any other website page where it has a search engine where you can filter what it is that you want to do. You've got academic merit, financial hardship, sporting excellence, etc. And I've just done a snippet here of my filters where I wanted to do law, of course, and I put engineering as well. So you can get a bit of a gauge on what scholarships are out there. I particularly like the bottom one, and I know our Year 12s in the room have seen this slide before, and that's $30,000 a year for up to 5.5 years. So if you apply for that and you get that, that's, do the maths, $100,000, that's great. You guys are buying me a coffee if you get that. And your parents a coffee and everyone else in the room a coffee. You can be on multiple scholarships, and please apply for as many as you can, and you can be on to about $25,000 a year before you actually have to do any tax benefits. Any of our mentors in the room on any other scholarships you want to share with us? Lovely. I think I missed one. So there are, as I said, other financial scholarships as well. Centrelink, some of you might be leaving, if you're leaving home, you might be on youth allowance. There's relocation scholarships. I know, Bart, you were part of, if you live more than an hour and a half away, maybe Bracken Ridge on public transport. Does anyone have, if they travel public transport, Priska, how long did it take you to come to UQ tonight on public transport? 83 minutes, to be exact. Well, if you stayed on that bus for another 7 minutes, you could apply for this scholarship. So it's an hour and a half away on public transport. So the first year it's 4,500, the second year it's 3,500, and I think the third year is 2,500, so it goes down. So please have a look into that as well. So it's definitely worthwhile to do that. We've breezed past the scholarship section. As I said, this information will be emailed out to you. So, anyone have any questions on that? Cooper's sitting here with the microphone. Could you run up the stairs? Is that exercise for the night? Lovely. Okay, well, we will continue on. Oh, we have one at the end. I like bossing people around. This right at the very end.
I have a question. So,
Can you speak up a little bit louder? I'm going deaf.
yeah, so my question is, you see how they say that the different types of degrees, there's a different amount you have to pay per year? Like the law was 14,000. Yes, was it? Yeah, 14,500. So with that, does that go with the scholarship at UQ as well? Or do we pay separately and the UQ just help us?
So everyone else obviously heard the question except me. So about scholarships and your HECS, so you can pay your scholarship onto your HECS. Is that what you...
Yeah, I'm just asking, yeah. Can you do that?
Okay. So, are you asking about how much money your degree will cost you, and then where your scholarship goes in terms of that?
Yeah, like if I was wondering if UQ actually pays part of it, or do
Yeah.
we do it?
Yes, so if you want to put your scholarship money towards paying off part of your HECS debt, you can do that. And I'm pretty sure you can type in how much you want to pay, and then that can go off. So then your HECS will be smaller later when you start working. Does that answer your question, Priska? Great.
Thanks, Hannah. You get all scholarship money as cash into your nominated bank account, so you can do as you wish with it. Lovely. Thank you. I will pass you over to my colleague Eileen and Bart, who are going to have a chat to you about accommodation.
Yes, hi everyone. My name is Eileen, and as Cindy said, I pretty much look after all the young achievers once they come to UQ. But essentially, before you even come to UQ, one of the most important decisions you'll have to make is actually deciding on where you're going to live. It was interesting to see, we did have a few hands up here, so a few of you are thinking of moving out. And even if you're not currently thinking about moving out of home, you might start, and then after one semester you might realize that commute is really long and it really takes away from your studies, and you might have also not spent enough time on campus to get to know people. So listen to the next few slides. Hopefully that will kind of give you a few answers and show you the options of what we've got available. So essentially we differentiate between 4 different accommodation types. We've got 2 on-campus types. So we've got the new UQ residence and the UQ colleges, and 2 off-campus options, which are our UQ approved providers and the private rental options. I'm just going to start with our new UQ residence. So most of you in the room have just attended our year 12 19-hour camp, and you would have seen that massive structure right next to Grace. So that's the new UQ residence, and it's really quite impressive. It's going to be brand new, obviously really modern, and looks really quite nice. It's going to be 610 rooms. All your costs will include Wi-Fi, electricity, water, and all that kind of stuff. If you're worried about security, there's like a 24-hour porter on site. Your rooms are lockable, and you'll be right in the heart of the St. Lucia campus. You'll be able to walk to all your lectures, participate in any activities which are happening here all the time, and you shouldn't have any problems meeting new friends and new people. It's also having apparently a barbecue and a pool, so that's really attractive. You don't have to pay for gym fees probably, because you'll also be able to access those things. And if you enjoy cooking, there's a master kitchen which you can access all the time and prepare your own meals. The next one we've got is our student living accommodation. Essentially, it's pretty much the same as the UQ residence, but I think their emphasis is a bit more on the student experience again. So they have lots of activities planned throughout the week, whether it's like yoga or movie sessions. So again, you shouldn't be short of opportunities of making new friends and meeting people. We've actually got one of our mentees on here who also stayed at Student One. Maybe you wouldn't mind just quickly sharing what your experience was like.
So there was another one that used to be out there called Spira. So I've had this experience in student accommodation, but I'm currently residing at Student One, and I absolutely love it. It is a really good experience. You still have your own room and privacy, but I'm still going to all these things and enjoy that. We have school events, we have art events, all different activities that they can bring a chef in a week. People have to get ready for the year. So I absolutely love it. And location is really good. And looking to be big. And so it's good because I don't need a car on my first student expense. So it's a really good location experience.
Thank you, Tegan. Yeah, I guess that's one thing to keep in mind. It's obviously not on campus. The locations are kind of varied through Brisbane. Some are a bit closer to the campus, like in Toowong, but we've also got spots they've also got spots on like South Bank and closer in the CBD. So if you enjoy the hustle and bustle of the city, that's your place to be. One of the advantages also, you can stay as long as you like. You can book right now for next year, so you got your spots secured, so you don't need to worry about whether you get accepted into it like at a UQ college. All cost again includes Wi-Fi, electricity, water, so that's really good to know beforehand. And Bart will tell us a bit more about the UQ colleges next.
So in my first year, I went to St. John's College, which is one of the 11 colleges on campus. One of those is in Gatton, but there's 10 here at St. Lucia. And St. John's was really great for me because I came from Chinchilla, which is 2 hours past Toowoomba. And coming into Brisbane, I knew no one else in Brisbane. Everybody else in my grade was doing trades or something similar back home in Chinchilla. So college was great for me to meet heaps of other people who were doing engineering or just friends you can hang out with. I was also fortunate enough to have some scholarships to help me pay for college, which you'll hear from Eileen soon, but there is a lot of them for college. College does cost a lot simply because it provides so much. So I'll go through some of the things which you consider when choosing on-campus accommodation. So you can have co-ed. Co-ed is the terminology they use, which means male and female colleges. Or you can have just male colleges or just female colleges, which can be handy if your child has gone to school at an all-female or all-male school. These are also 24/7 secure, so there's security guards there, always walking around, making sure that everyone's safe and there's nothing silly happening, so you don't have to worry about that for your child. There's 3 meals a day. All of these meals are buffet meals, so that's great if you're moving out and you're not too sure how to cook, like I was, and some of you might be the same, I don't know. So that's really good. I really appreciated that. And there's Wi-Fi, power, water. That's all covered in your main bill for the college. Some other things that aren't on there that are covered in your fees is sport. So at college, you can just about do every sport under the sun as you can think of. Out of Chinchilla, there's not much water. So when I moved to Brisbane, there's a thing called rowing. So I tried that out, and it was lots of fun. AFL, touch, rugby union, ping pong, badminton, everything. So it's really good to do sport and to meet other friends doing that. And the rooms are great. Where you're staying, you live in a bit of a hall, dormitory type of thing. And it's just lots of fun to meet people. And your rooms are great to study in, heaps of room. Worked out well for me at St. John's. I can't speak for the other colleges. Great facilities and common spaces. You can see in these photos here, like there's pool tables, there's gyms, big dining halls. It's a high quality place for a first year student coming from home. They've also got really good, I know at St. John's, they had really good support for students studying. So they had tutors there for all of your subjects. So students in the second year or third year would stay there and tutor. So for engineering, we had maths tutors, which made a huge difference because maths was just such a hard subject in first year, and they were a great help. So that's a huge thing in first year to have tutors there supported in your college. Heaps of social stuff, as you can imagine. College gets a rap for being really socially engaging. Heaps to do, almost too much to do. You can't make it all. But it's great to have that option there as well. So I'm not too sure what can be pre-booked means, Eileen, but anyway, we'll skip that one. And students vacate during semester breaks. So that just means that they have to come home during the mid-year break. So you can't get to stay at college for that break there like you can at, for example, Tira or Scape. That's everything regarding that slide. Any questions regarding colleges? Before I move to the next one. Nope. So regarding private rentals, so in my first years at St. John's, but I just thought that I'd like to get away from all the hustle bustle of all that social stuff, which is good, but it's just too much for me studying engineering and business and working a few jobs. I just couldn't stay up to date with it all. So I thought, why not move out into a private rental? And luckily for me, I have 3 brothers who are also in Brisbane. So I couldn't get away from them. I'm living with them in the same house, double bunking like old times, and it's working really well. And St. Lucia is a great place for students so close to uni. Public transport, driving, it's so easy. It's only 5 minutes away. So that worked out really well, and it's not too bad the pricing either. So YAP can really go towards that. And some things, well, that's my experience so far. I might throw it to another mentor, actually, while I think about it. Cooper, would you like to share your experience of living at home?
Yeah, so I still live at home with my parents. I live in Waterfield, and it's like a culture, Island sort of area. So I commute about an hour 15, hour 20 once
Great, thanks, Cooper. And there's another mentor that wanted to jump in there. Was it Jade? Thanks, Jade. And one other thing with private rentals, the hardest thing I think is finding people to live with. There is an app called Housemates which you can use, but one of the benefits of going to college is you've met all of these people that you can that you get to know over 1 or 2 years, and you can move out with them. So that's a really handy benefit of going to college, which you can think about. For rentals, as you'll be aware, it's really important to get onto it early because in St. Lucia, Toowong, in this area, things just go up so quickly because there's so many students coming in. But that's a great option. Yeah, private rentals as well. I'll pass back to Eileen.
I guess one thing to keep in mind as well, if we are talking about costs, is that we do offer a large amount of accommodation grants. So just to put it in perspective, this year we had 60 grants and 70 students starting. So if you are thinking about going to a college or one of the approved providers, please let us know and please apply to the grants when they're opening, because as you've just heard, like there is a great chance of you receiving one. So we had 22 college grants, which were pretty much like 2 grants per college. We had 31, and they were roughly ranging between $6,000 and $11,000, and they last for 3 years. So if you decide to live in the college for 3 years, you get $6,000 to $11,000 every year. And we had 31 through student living, so for SCAPE and Student One, which basically were like 50% discounts, and they usually just last up for 1 year. Just to give you a rough idea, it varies between like $150 to $200 a week. And same for the UQ residents. I've heard a rumor we've got about 5 scholarships for next year available, and the cost will be roughly $150 for the first year. We also have the Fraser Foundation Scholarship. Again, that's only for approved providers and colleges. So if you're thinking about private rentals, unfortunately we can't help you. But if college or SCAPE or Student One or the new UQ residence sounds appealing to you, please let us know. And again, we've just kind of given you a bit of a rough idea of, what does it all cost? So I just really want you to focus on the estimate of the annual cost. And if you actually drill it down, there isn't much of a difference between all of them. While the colleges look a bit cheaper here, you have to keep in mind that you actually have to move out during the holidays. So you have to go back home or wherever you're going to live. If you're looking at student living, but then also you have to remember all the food is included in colleges. So student living, you can stay there for the whole year, but no food is included. And I guess same with the share house. You might think that's still a bit cheaper, but you have to think about that you might have to buy furniture. Your room will probably be unfurnished. You have to buy all your food. You have to buy all your, pay for Wi-Fi, electricity, etc. So essentially it just comes down to where you think you will thrive the best. What environment do you think you will be best working in, and you can focus on your studies. Also, because Cindy talked about Link before, and to put maybe the annual cost a bit in perspective. So if we're talking about, let's take college as an example, $20,000 is a huge figure, but you've got $7,000 as your YAP scholarship. You will most likely get the Link scholarship, that's $10,000, and then you might receive a $6,000 grant. So you've got $4,000 left to cover, which maybe with a part-time job should be possible. And I'm just going to ask the mentors again, any of you have a part-time job? So how many hours a week would you be working, Alex?
Okay, so when I first started uni, I was in a permanent part-time position where I was working 4 days a week. And now I'm in a position where I work max like 12 or 15 hours a week, which is much more reasonable. I work a job that is only night times, which I would also highly recommend. It's also something to do with people who have like back experiences and that sort of thing. I didn't have a lot of back experiences. That takes a lot of time away from time to work, and you have to treat it like a full-time job. They say you do 10 hours a week, 10 hours of work a week, or each cost you. So average day rate is 40 weeks, 40 hours a week.
Okay.
So average day rate is 40 hours a week. So I find that that 12 to 14 hours a week of work for me is really manageable and could easily cover the $4,000.
Yeah, sweet. Thank you. Yeah, now we're just going to talk about your travel options to UQ, and I think Bart has a fair bit of experience in that.
I suppose I do. So for cars, yep, the top one. I actually don't have a car. I'm in my 3rd year, and I never needed a car until this year, which I'm using my brother's because he's at home as well. But being in St. Lucia, and for that matter, anywhere near St. Lucia, public transport, as you'd know, all being from Brisbane, is incredibly good. So if you don't have a car, you can always public transport. But cars are really handy. You don't necessarily need one though, because of how good public transport is. So if your parents are stressing about buying you a car, don't worry too much about it. Maybe until the next few years. It is not super important. I can only speak on behalf of St. Lucia stuff, but I'll go through all the other campuses as well. There's heaps of public transport. When I came here, I didn't even know what public transport was. I came from Chinchilla. There's only one taxi in town, and that was for the RSL. And I quickly learned how to use these buses. I missed a few stops and got on illegally a few times, but I learned it eventually. There's train stations which are really handy. They stop at Twong there, which isn't far away. You just bus from Twong to here. That's really easy, as you'd all probably know. You use public transport. And the ferries are really great as well, although there's a 15-minute gap between them, which you have to be careful of. So transport's really good. I personally just bus or ride. I'm only 5 minutes away by bike from UQ. For Gatton though, there's some really good options for anyone wanting to do agriculture. You're not left out. There is inter-campus buses, which are important because some of your subjects won't be just at Gatton, but also here at St. Lucia. So that means they go from Gatton to here for free. You're not far from Gatton CBD or from Toowoomba, but you're an hour from Brisbane, which is a bit of a hike. For Hurston, you're not far from the CBD. In fact, it's so good. I just caught the train through to Hurston the other day. It's the bus, sorry. Once you get off the bus stop from UQ to Hurston, it's like a 1-minute walk, I think, to the campus. Jay, do you public transport to Hurston? No? No, okay. Never mind. But it's really close and handy with public transport. So it works really well. And I'll throw it back to Eileen if there's no questions for public transport.
I will just quickly note, a few of you might have a car and you might think about driving to St. Lucia. Parking is actually a real pain. There isn't much parking available, and it's also quite expensive, I believe. So while it is an option, I think public transport is your better option. All right, thanks so much. That's it for me, and I'm just going to hand over to Christy now, who will talk about our support services at UQ.
Thanks, Eileen. I've realised that we've been going for a little while, so what I might do is just get you to stand up, have a quick stretch, have a quick sip of water. Please stay in the room though, but just have a little stretch before we go on to our next part. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. I'll get you to have a seat. We'll keep on so that we can get you out of here and get you to some coffee, tea and some nice treats for supper. So thanks for bearing with us, and thanks for all of your great questions. We did just have a question about the UQ residences and how you would apply for that, which was a great question. And the answer is we're still not sure ourselves because they're still being built. They are going to be ready for entry next year. But as soon as we know, we'll be communicating that with you along with all of the other information about how to apply to the colleges and all of the grants that are available for the accommodation options as well. Whoops. So, my name's Christy, if you've forgotten from the start, and I work with Eileen to to help young achievers when they're here at UQ. So Eileen and I look after you, we keep an eye on your grades, we invite you to all of the social events that we have, we send you out all of the important things and dates that you need to know. So we're a good contact to have when you get here, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye on you, make sure that you're settling in well. We understand that when you come to uni, even though you might be living at home or you might be deciding to move out, it really is a big step to start at university. It's a lot different from high school. Sometimes it can be a bit nerve-wracking, kind of not knowing what to expect when you come to university in regards to sort of your academics and making friends and that sort of thing. And I can tell you that Cindy, Eileen, myself, the mentors, we've all been in that position. I am from Toowoomba, and I turned up here at uni on the first day and I didn't know anyone. I moved down from Toowoomba. It was really scary, and so we know kind of what you're going through, and we're here to really help you settle in, you know, make friends when you get to university and feel comfortable when you get here as well. So I'm going to be talking about how we as YAP support you here when you get to university, but also what UQ has to offer in terms of making sure that you feel welcome when you come to university. Oops. So UQ is really focused on supporting you at each stage of your journey when you do come to UQ. So not only is there sort of settling in support around things like, you know, getting to know the campus and making friends, but also around your well-being, which we'll be talking about a little bit later in the session. But things like study skills, how I mentioned that, you know, high school can be, you know, a bit different in terms of expectations to when you get to university. And there is lots of support, workshops and learning sessions available to help you kind of get up to speed or get on track with what the expectations are when you get to university. There's also support around disability support, faith and religion, and also support for when you're here at university. UQ really wants to make sure that when you graduate and come out the other end with your degree, that you are really employable and that you have all the skills that you need to go out into the workforce and make the most of the degree that you've worked so hard for at UQ. So, settling in. Again, a bit of a nerve-wracking thing to turn up to uni and maybe you don't know anyone, maybe hopefully you'll know a couple of people from YAP. But we have our orientation week, which, as it says, it's to orientate yourself with the campus, with all of the things that UQ has to offer, so all of the social activities, sporting clubs, and also get to know some of the things that of your faculty. So you'll have some compulsory classes to go to as part of your faculty. You might go and investigate the library and go to a library session so you know how to use all of the facilities that they've got there. And then there's also Connect Week, which is the week after O Week, and that's really about connecting you in and making sure that you feel connected with the campus, with friends, and with the networks that are here at UQ. So 2 whole weeks dedicated to making sure that you are finding friends, you're joining up to things that you want to do here at uni. So the study skills areas which I talked about, Eileen and I have actually just been talking to a number of first-year students today. They've just completed their first semester, and we've actually been contacting a lot of our first-year students just to talk to them about different workshops and sessions that are available that might help them to, you know, get up to speed with things like how to write an assignment, how to listen and take notes effectively in lectures. There's also lots of wellbeing ones and workshops around exam tips and how to time manage yourself, how to avoid stress, when you get to exams. So Eileen and I have actually been contacting our students, just making sure that they know that there is workshops and online support available. It's free as part of the university and part of your enrolment. And the university and YAT really wants to make sure that you succeed when you get here. So we really do try and promote these as much as we can to young achievers and get you to go along to them, because it all helps develop your skills to be able to do well at uni. So wellbeing, we have support here at UQ, not only in kind of the mental wellness space, but also with our GP clinic that we have here on campus. So we do have a doctor's office here on campus, which students can access. And then there's also counselling sessions as well. So we know that study might not be the only thing on your mind when you come to university. Often students have different things going on in their personal lives. You might have family circumstances. You might be struggling with maybe anxiety or stress. So all students here at UQ have access to up to 10 counselling sessions free of charge. So it's just a matter of booking into those sessions. I'm going to get Jay to come up and share, because she's actually accessed some of the counselling services, and I'll just give you a really quick summary of how you found it. Thank you, Jade. And I think something important to note is that Eileen and I obviously love speaking to the students. You guys can, call us, email us, text us, with any questions that you have. But we're also more than happy to speak to parents as well. So if you have concerns about your child, you're not sure how to kind of point them in the right direction, maybe who they should talk to, you're more than welcome to give us a call as well. And we can talk to you about how, we can support, your child when they're here at university, if they do come across any concerns or have any hurdles when they get here. So Get Set Mentoring, this is a very short mentoring program that runs from O week, so week 0, and actually goes through to week 4 of uni. So it's kind of during that key time when you're adjusting to university, you're testing things out, you're going to your first classes, and you'll be paired up with a mentor from the same study area that you're doing, and that mentor is available to catch up in person on campus, or they might be available just by messenger or text or on Zoom, but pretty much available to help you get settled in that 0 to 4 weeks, and to answer any questions that you've got, things around like timetabling, how you figure out where to go, for your lectures and your tutes. So it's just kind of having that extra person there to ask questions and help kind of like show you around in that 0 to 4 weeks of uni. So you'll get an email about this as a first year student if you come to UQ. We definitely recommend signing up for it as another way to help you settle in at uni. Sorry, I keep flicking forward. So UQ Life, so we have a whole department area which is called UQ Life, and it's about having a life outside of studying at UQ, which is really important. If you think about all the things that you do at school, I'm sure many of you don't just go to school and do your classes and go home again. I'm sure you do sport, you might do drama, you might be part of a social club or a community club at school. And those things are really important to carry on to university when you get here, because it's how you make friends, it's how you feel connected with what's happening here at UQ, and it's how you get involved in all of the different things that we have to offer. So probably one of the key ones is the clubs and societies. So we have different options, whether that might be sporting clubs, it might be a club to do with your faculty, so there's the law club, or it might be something really fun like Matt has done. And he's actually started up his own club, and I'm going to get him to really tell you a little bit about, I guess, why he got involved and how it makes him feel connected to friends and that sort of thing.
So before I do that, I guess to offer a tiny bit of advice that a high school teacher gave me just before I went into uni, and that was that it can be really, really daunting when coming to university trying to make friends, because you're in this massive new place. UQ is like huge. It takes like 15 minutes to walk from side to side, so you might feel a little bit isolated, I guess, in this big old space. And what my high school teacher said to me was that at school, realistically, you want to have heaps of things in common with the people around you, just that you kind of all live in the same geographical area, right? But when you come to uni, all of a sudden, you're going to be surrounded by people, whether that be in your class or whether that's in a club in society, who are passionate about things that you are. And I know that kind of really opened my mind up, I guess, making me feel a little bit more comfortable in meeting new people, because, all right, I'm in a journalism class, everybody else here, you obviously got an interest in journalism, so I'll be able to speak to them, make some friends, and I guess take that leap of faith into finding a few connections, and then I guess get that ball rolling to meeting with people at uni. In terms of what I did with my own club, I am a big fan of pretty much every sport. I want to go into sports journalism when I graduate, and one of the sports that I'm interested in the most is Formula One, which is a motorsport. And there wasn't really too many people around campus who, I guess, were into Formula One or were like doing Formula One events on a regular basis. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to chuck up a little post on a social media page that, hey, anyone at UQ wants to do stuff with that one? And I had a few people message me like, yeah, cool. So I thought, oh, there's actually a little bit of a demand here, why not try to make a club out of it? And that's what we did. We did some organising and held an IGM, which is an inaugural general meeting, where you have to have 30 people show up to, I guess, prove to the university, hey, look, there's an interest here. We had our IGM, 30 people showed up luckily. We recently just got ratified as a official club at UQ, and now we get to run events, we get to, I guess, do giveaways and stuff like that, and we're really excited to, I guess, go off into the future and see where our club goes. So that might be something that you're interested in when you come to uni, or you might want to find a club like my one, or any of the other ones around you that I guess I feel passionate or something that you're really into.
Thanks, Matt. So I think the key there, opportunities are endless, and there will be definitely something if you have an interest, and if there's not, you can start something. So we've got health and fitness as well. I'm not going to go too much into this because as students you would have been to visit the campus and seen a lot of the facilities that we have. So if you are really into your health and your sport, you can certainly access a lot of the facilities that we have here. So preparing for your future at UQ, so I did mention that UQ is a big believer in, making sure that you've got the skills to be able to, use when you actually come out the other side with your degree. And all of these things kind of help to add to your, not only employability skill set, but just your general skill set as well. So I know with the Young Achievers program, we really try and instill that sense of community and giving back. And UQ has so many volunteer opportunities, whether it's, tutoring or something within your faculty, whether it's coming and being a mentor with the Young Achievers program, or maybe volunteering with a totally different organisation. Also work experience as well. We have a whole department that helps you seek out internships and work experience with different companies, whether that's separate to what you're studying or involved in the faculty which you're in. So definitely lots of ways to develop your skills and abilities that I guess are outside of what you're studying at UQ as well. Yeah, specific support. So this is a little bit of where Eileen and I come into play. So all of that other stuff's kind of like UQ general support. And then on top of that, there's all of the things that Eileen and I do in our everyday job to help support young achievers when they get here. So we do orientation events for young achievers. We've got our semester 2 pizza catch-up coming up in semester 2 in 2 weeks' time, so young achievers can come along for free, have something to eat, catch up with other young achievers and see the staff as well. We also have a drop-in centre session which Eileen and I run every second Thursday, so we're there all day, you don't need an appointment, you can pop in and see us and we can answer pretty much anything that we talked about tonight we can help you with. So things like scholarships, accommodation, your grades, support, anything that you've got a question about, Eileen and I can either help you or point you in the right direction to someone who can. We do keep an eye on your grades as well, and you'll get a little call from us if you aren't doing so well on your grades, just to see where we can help you and we can put you in touch with to help you improve those for the next semester. Basically, we can give advice. We're available phone, text, email, in person, and that's for parents as well as students. So you guys are welcome to contact us whenever you need. Any questions about support services before I go on to what's next? No. So what's next? We've got our semester 2 bursaries coming up, so you'll need to have submitted your semester 1 report card before we get you paid your bursary. We've also got our open day coming up, which is super exciting because we were online last time for open day. And we're hoping that if you weren't able to, we didn't get to see you so much for camp, that we'd love to have you here and get to catch up with you again at open day. Many of your mentors will be there at open day. We're going to have a little bit of a welcome session for parents. Students will get to catch up with their mentors, so we'd love to see you there. You would have got an email and you just need to register by the 30th of July, and we'll hope that COVID doesn't get us for this one, because we're really keen to see you guys there. We've also got our welcome and celebration event, so you would remember coming to those in grade 10 when you first started in the program. Well, this will be you guys coming out the other side now. You'll be your year 12, and we'll be back saying congratulations on making it through to year 12 and doing a bit of a celebration event for you guys. They'll be in October. It'll be here again for you guys, so you'll be coming along to the Brisbane one, and you'll get an invitation for that in your email in the coming weeks. And again, just RSVP, and we hope to see you there at the welcome and celebration. We've got a couple of phone calls coming up. So we've got August and October and December calls. August are going to look a little bit different. We're going to have some Zoom calls with your mentors around some study areas you might be interested in. So keep an eye out on how to sign up to those ones. And of course, keep checking your email and your Facebook. Cindy's been an absolute whiz lately, and she's doing scholarships Saturdays, and she's doing Top Tip Tuesday. There's so many I've forgotten. So keep an eye on your Facebook for all of the things that you need to know. And of course, your email. So the things tonight which we're still sort of waiting on to getting out to you, things like your accommodation grants, how you apply for your accommodation, QTAC closing dates, those sorts of things. We'll be continually reminding you of all of those things through your email. So keep an eye on those ones. So after year 12, we really do want to see you succeed, whether that's coming here to UQ, maybe to another tertiary institution, but obviously we'd love to have you here at UQ, and we can't wait to see you here at uni. We can't wait to support you when you get here, and of course we hope you'll consider being a mentor when you come and having a great time like these guys do. We love having them along to all of our events. Top tips, make sure you keep your personal contact details updated with us if anything changes. We'd hate for you to miss out on any of those important updates. Do some reading and research, things like scholarships. Not only, obviously, UQ offers those things, but also outside of UQ. So it really is up to you to do a little bit of research on the things that you can apply to in terms of scholarships, and also, you know, around what you want to study next year as well. Keep at it for the remainder of Year 12. It's not long to go now. I'm sure you're very excited about getting to the end of Year 12. And if there's anything that we can help with in the meantime, let us know. You've got our contact details. School guidance officer is another great one to get in touch with if you've got any questions about next year as well. So thank you so much from us. I'm happy to answer any questions now.